And from there, when you come back to kind of being a bit more positive, then, okay, now let's meditate. Now, quickly, I'm going to show you how to meditate before we go, okay? Because meditation is very important, and most of us have the wrong idea about what meditation is, okay? Or how to do it. Most people say, I can't meditate. If I sit there, my mind go crazy. Oh, well, that's the first step to meditation, right? That's the first step, to observe your mind going everywhere. That's the process. And it's very important that the first step to meditation is to become aware of the mind, of your thought. The mind is everything. It's your thoughts, your memories, your fears, your triggers, everything that is controlling our lives that we have accumulated since we were born, right? So awareness, number one. Okay. And then the first step of meditation is concentration. So you focus on one point. You can focus on your breath, and you start bringing all your awareness. So you're aware first of what's going on. Then you're aware of one thing. Okay, my breath. I focus on my breath. Or I can focus on a candle. I can just have a candle, and I can look at it, and my eyes are there, and all my vision is in the candle. And that's the start of the process. So with an untrained mind, what's going to happen? I'm going to focus on the breath or on the finger, and then I'm focused on the finger, and then suddenly, straight away, I'm going to go somewhere else. I start thinking about this person, and then from that person, I go to that person, and then from that story, and then like 10 minutes later, I went to a massive journey, right? And then suddenly I realized, oh, I forgot about my focus, and you come back, right? So most people say, I can't meditate because as soon as I want to focus, my mind starts wandering. Well, that's the important part. Every time when you realize that your focus is not in the finger, say, okay, I've been wandering around for 10 minutes. I come back to my finger, to my focus. And then you're going to go away. So that process of coming back, that's meditation. That's the process of meditation. Meditation is both a process and an outcome. So to get the outcome, we need to go through the process. You lose focus and then you come back. You lose focus and then you come back. It's like going to the gym and trying to lift 50-kilogram weights. You don't start like that. You start building the muscle slowly, step by step, until you become super strong. But it's a process. Meditation is the same. You lose your focus, you go away, you come back. You go away, you come back. At the beginning, you're gonna go away for 5 minutes, and then come back for 2 seconds, and then go away for 15 minutes, and then come back. So that process is very long. Eventually, you stay here for longer. Now you stay here for 10 seconds, and you go away for 30 seconds or less, until eventually you stay here. Now, this process of coming back, that's the good part. That's the good part. Is you realizing I'm here and I'm not here. That's the good part. So every time you realize you're here and not there, I say, oh, great. I realize I lost the focus. I'm going to come back. What most people do is like, oh, shit, I'm away. I'm such an idiot. I cannot meditate. I will never do this again. And you never improve. So it's like saying, I'm away from the focus. I realize it, great. Now I can come back. That's one repetition. That's the muscle building in that process. So what you do, instead of telling yourself off, you say, good job, Christian. I realize I'm not focusing. Come back to focus. So every time you realize you're not focusing, you come back. That's a win. And eventually, if you keep reinforcing that, you stay here for longer. And that's meditation. Now, what is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of that? That this finger here represents your life, your happiness, your joy, your peace, all the good stuff. Everything here It's noise. These are your triggers. These are your fears here, right? Your fears, your triggers, the environment, the people that triggers you, everything. So what happened? You say, okay, today I'm gonna be happy. I promise I will not react to my partner. I'll be fine. I'll be like, boom. And then suddenly something happened, boom. Ah, and then you realize later, and what you do? You punish yourself. Okay, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna do this. That's your finger. That's what happened. So what happened? Next time you're here, and then your partner is doing something or something's happening that is distressing you, you say, I know what's happening. There's a distraction there. I'm aware. I'm about to explode. I will not explode because I'm more aware now. So now, because I have trained this, now this doesn't control me like a carrot. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to say, excuse me, I'm going to go out for 5 minutes. And then you go outside and you jump a little bit and you breathe in for 4, out for 8, for 2 minutes. You calm yourself and then you come back. And then you have a conversation. And then you avoid yourself having to say sorry later because you bring your nervous system back to balance. These here are all your triggers, all the things that take you out of your center, of your ground. This is me with my ground. So when you meditate on this, the benefit of this, of meditating, is that now you can control your triggers because they don't take you away like that. You know, you're always here. And that's why we meditate. And that's what we just did for like 25 minutes, 20 minutes. You focus on your breath, you calm, you relax, and you're in a good state, and you feel good. And when you feel good, life is different. Do that 10 minutes a day. And you meditate, and then you feel it with some gratitude. You know, gratitude meditation. At the end, you can just be grateful about all the things you have, all the people around you, all your family. We're in Australia, man. It's like we're in Australia. Like we have everything. Think about people in Gaza right now. Think about people in other countries being bombarded without food and water, and then we're still quite good, right? At least you have internet and power to connect with that. It's like, man, we couldn't be more lucky, but we forget. We forget because there's so much noise, and we allow the noise to affect us. The power is to be strong, centered, balanced amongst the noise. So no matter what other people are doing, you're good. And it triggered the shit out of other people when you're like that. Because you're not getting triggered and everyone's come to tell you their drama. And you're like, that's how I react these days. But that's how you become powerful and invincible in a good way. Because then nothing can take you out of balance. Being strong doesn't mean having muscles, doesn't mean being loud. Being strong means nothing around me can disturb my peace. And how do we do that? By mastering this little tool we have here, which is a supercomputer. Master your mind, and then nothing will disrupt your peace. And then gratitude, love, compassion for all living beings, my enemies, the people I disagree with, the people who have given me pain in the past, the one that harmed me, everyone. Love and compassion for everyone, not just only the one I like, which is what happened in these days. Well, yeah, love and compassion, but that one no, because that one is vaccinated, or that one is from the right, or that's from left wing, whatever. You know, it's like love and compassion for everyone. We beyond this physical body, we are all souls, perfect and complete. And by the way, your heart is perfect and complete. All the broken things is broken minds, broken egos. Disappointment is when the ego doesn't get what the ego wants. That's it. It's all here. It's all the ego. It's not like here. Yeah, this create physical pain here. But the pain you might feel on your chest is created by yourself with this. No one can create physical pain on your chest but yourself with this tool. So what this tells us that we are 100% responsible of our own happiness and peace, regardless of what's everything out there. The problem is that these days we have a lot of people that validates our suffering and they profit from it. You know, it's like, man, suffering is self-created, it's self-inflicted. Of course, some of us have gone through very difficult situations that are very hard to manage. And because at the time we might not have the tools, we inflict a lot of suffering ourselves. You know? But now that you have the tools and you become more aware, we can live a life in a different way. You know? Now, when you're suffering, of course, you have to express that and release the suffering. But I believe that it shouldn't be suffering in the first place. And that's what I disagree with a lot of psychologists and a lot of therapists. I think if you can avoid suffering, why you have to manage the suffering? Avoid it altogether. Now, if you already suffer something, yes, release it, let it go. We need to work on it, release that negative energy. But then, if we can avoid it moving forward, why don't we just see things as they are? To that I am creating it with my own interpretation. Anyway, you might agree with me, you might disagree with me. But the important part here is that you are in control. Remember that. Tune, meditation. Every time something happening, come back to your center. How do I do that? My breath. Become aware, oh, I'm breathing. Next time you feel a little bit, remember your breath, because that's the first thing we stop doing. Survival mode, we stop breathing. So we can bring attention to our legs and our hands to fight and run, okay? So next time you feel a little bit stressed, anxious, remember that you're breathing. And then just sit there, become aware of your breath. And with that is the start of the process. Remember that you're breathing every time. And that's meditation. It's coming back. Boom, I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I'm breathing. You know, put an alarm every 1 hour and just focus on that. Every hour, get the alarm. Boom. Oh, I'm breathing. And then spend 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. In for 4, out for 8. Back to center. Back to center. And then after that, say something. Connect with something you're grateful of. Feel it. I'm grateful about I'm alive today. I'm grateful that regardless of the situation, I still have food, water, whatever. Gratitude is the key. Gratitude take away fear. Any fear will go away. Get melted with gratitude. Gratitude. Like sincere gratitude for all the things we have. We have so much. So much. And this will pass through. It's just crazy, man. Like how many times when you were young, remember when you were young, when you were like 15 or 20 or something, and you had a breakup with your beloved boyfriend or girlfriend, and you thought you were going to die when you were like 15? Why? You didn't. You did here. You didn't die. And you were like, I'm gonna die. And then over time, we go through those things. Oh, I got fired from my job. I'm 22. I have nowhere to go now. That was like 20 years ago. And like people, and then it didn't. So stop that nonsense, because that's what we're doing now. You lose everything. So what? You know, you're still alive. You can do more. Still, I'm sending love and compassion to everyone who might have lost a lot of stuff and a lot of shit right now, especially South, that, you know, Lismore area, they're very bad, and I feel for them. But I'm sure you will recover, you know? Just strength. Okay, what do we have to get done? This happened. So nothing we can do about it. It's a different, more radical way of living, but ultimately will give you peace. Okay? Deep inhale all the way in. Big release. One more time in. Big release. Last one in. Big release. Shake it off. Shake your arms. Shake your legs if you can. Shake your everything. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it's very good today. And ultimately, trust that when things go in a way unexpected against our plans, perhaps it's just God will, you know, or greater consciousness will, or the universe will. Nothing we can do about it. So trusting is trusting that whatever happens is going to be what has to happen. Trust doesn't mean that my outcome that I'm waiting for is going to happen. Because if we have attachment to the outcome, that's not trust. Right? So in spirituality, we say you do your best, the rest is to the gods, or to whatever God you worship. I say Shiva, I leave it to Shiva, or to some people say the universe. Some people say greater consciousness. I do my best and the rest is to the gods. So ultimately, is you are doing your best, there's nothing to worry about. Now you're just cruising around and just not doing your best. That's okay. So ultimately, we trust that whatever the outcome is the right outcome, even if the outcome is not what I'm looking for. And then you remove any stress about it because you're not pushing for an outcome, even like to be liked by someone. You go on a date and you go attached to the outcome, you won't be yourself. But you go there and say, well, she likes me, she likes me, she doesn't like me, she doesn't like me. Or if he likes me, and it's just gonna be me. Great. I wish we all could do that. Attachment to the outcome. Trust means I am trusting that whatever the outcome is the best outcome, even if that outcome is not what I want. And that takes away everything, all the stress. Okay. Good. Any last comments?